opinions we had. But I traveled to a lot of NFL games, and there's one city. There was one city. My goal was to one day travel to all 32 NFL teams' stadiums. But there was one stadium and one city that my wife refuses. She says, no matter what, I am not going to that stadium, and that is Philadelphia. Because we all know Philadelphia Eagles fans have a reputation of being the worst fan base, the most hostile fan base, the most ignorant fan base, the most meanest fan base. Well, they didn't have that reputation this past Sunday when this Packers fan posted this video of his experience in Lincoln Financial Field.
After reviewing the play, the runner was short of the goal line. They got one more yard though. They're close. Yeah, but they're not in. It's not a touchdown. Yeah. So you don't jerk off, come in the air. Okay, well, don't call her a dumb cunt. She's an ugly dumb cunt. Cool. End of the third quarter. Yup. Got it.
Now, there was a lot of thoughts that went in my head when I saw that video. Of course, this went viral, more than viral. It's made national news. Of course, be careful what you wish for. Like, this is 2025. Eagles fan. They found out who that Eagles fan was. He has since been fired from his job, and the Philadelphia Eagles have actually banned him from ever going back to an Eagles game again. Wow, good on the Eagles for that, and good on his job for that. But I mean, you would think, right? That, seems like a simple cut and dry case. Like, screw the Eagles fan, sympathy to the Packers fan. That Packers fan, by the way, being Alexander Basara, who is a Packers fan content creator, by the way, which gives me a little bit even more sympathy as a fellow NFL content creator myself. So he's the one who posted it. As you can see, 17,000 comments. Good Lord have mercy. I thought I'd be going viral before. 17,000 comments, 16,000 retweets, 27 million views. Good Lord have mercy. Good Lord have mercy. There was a lot of questions that went through my mind when I saw that video. First thing is like, okay, what would you do in that situation, right? Like, everybody always watches a situation, and everybody always with so much pride. Oh, I would have never accepted that. Yeah, he would have to meet these hands or whatever, right? Everybody always has their instant reaction to what they would do when they're in a situation like that. It's always easy to say when you're watching somebody else go through it, like, oh, I would have did this, I would have did that. Another question I had was, well, should that Packers fan have known better? Like, again, we all know the reputation that Eagles fans have. So and it sounds like victim blaming, right? But there's a lot of people who actually were blaming the Packers fan and saying, oh, dude, you know what you were doing. You had your body cam on because you probably wanted a reaction like that. You're in Philadelphia. You're wearing Packers gear. You know that the Eagles fans are assholes. You're the problem, not the Eagles fan. And some even said that the Packers fan was scamming, like it was intentional, because that's Packers fan who is a content creator. Again, he actually had a GoFundMe the week before asking his audience to help him out, to donate to him so that he could go travel to the game to watch the Packers and Eagles. I mean, to me, that's a whole nother different topic. I'll tell y'all one thing, as a fellow content creator, I will never do a GoFundMe to you guys to go travel to a game. I'll take y'all super chats, don't get me wrong, but I'm never gonna. I mean, I feel like there's so many other better ways to utilize GoFundMe than to say, hey, help me go to Atlanta so I can watch the Saints and Falcons. I mean, I understand that in return, you're giving them cool content that a lot of fans love, but just for me, I'm not trying to knock him for doing it. I'm just not the type that's going to go and do a GoFundMe to go to a game. But of course, this Eagles fan said, this vulgar Eagles fan is clearly a piece of shit, but the Packers fiance who filmed the incident has a lot going on. How much did he instigate this? Look at his attitude going into the link. He was wearing a body cam to video stuff for content. I mean, I don't think that's a sin. I've not worn body cams, but I've worn cameras to many of my away games. I mean, some of my most popular videos are me going to Dallas and me going to Atlanta and capturing my experiences as an opposing fan against one of our rival teams. He also has had multiple GoFundMes to pay for his travel to Packers games, etc. Now, again, like I said, I wouldn't do a GoFundMe to ask you guys to pay me to go to Atlanta or Dallas or Philadelphia or whatever. But I mean, different strokes for different folks. We need more info, but it feels like we've been manipulated by this dude. Do y'all agree with that? I don't. I personally don't. I don't agree with the GoFundMe part, but I don't think he was manipulating anybody. But the main thing that some of the Eagles fans and some of the, I guess, the devil's advocate people are saying is that in his GoFundMe, he acknowledged, and this is before this all happened. So in his GoFundMe leading up to the game, when he was asking people for donations to go to the game, he said, I've been cursed at, I've had stuff thrown at me, and even my first ever cheesehead ripped off my head and thrown into a fire bin while supporting my team in Philly. But I'm sure as hell not scared to do it again. So again, he's basically acknowledging that he knew he was going into the devil's den. And so a lot of fans are saying, well, brother, you knew you were going to the devil's den. Why are you mad when the devil shows up? I'm not the one to victim blame. Not in this scenario. Like, to me, it's an open and clear case. The Eagles fan was an asshole. He got what he fucking deserved, to be honest. The Eagles fan, with him getting doxxed. You want to play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So how some of these fans, and that's just life, right? Like, you're always going to have a but, even in the scenarios that you feel like are so obvious. Now, to the fans who are like, shame on him for allowing his wife to be in that position. I mean, I try when I watch that video to picture me in that scenario, because I've brought my wife to a lot of away games, and I've been very, very grateful and very, very lucky, I guess, even. Shame that you got to use the word lucky, but that we've never ran into any asshole. We did have some asshole fans in Dallas in 2018, but it wasn't like crazy. It was just like them talking mad shit. Nobody got a little too personal with it, so I can accept, maybe them saying screw you or whatever. But that was the worst of what we ever got going on away games. And to be fair, the Dallas fans this past year were amazing. So sometimes it's just, you could have 75,000 great fans, and it only takes one asshole fan to ruin the experience. But I picture myself, okay, if that was my wife, how I would react. I'll be honest, it probably would have been a fight, and I have a commandment when I go to away games, even Saints games. I am never going to fight about my team. Like, these multi-million-dollar athletes, they don't give a damn about Jono. They ain't paying my jail money or my bail bond if I get arrested for fighting an opposing fan or even a Saints fan. Like, so I'm not going to get into a fight over a goddamn sports game. But I just know how I've been in the past with some road rage incidents and whatever. Or whenever I feel somebody coming at my wife on, hell, y'all saw, I guess, the Vikings Karen that came at me last year, and I don't know. I have a sense sometimes of way too much pride, I guess, and my emotion overtakes any logic that I would have. So, in that scenario, it probably would not have been as calm as that Packers fan was in the moment. But I'm not going to knock the Packers fan for staying calm. Like, one, say that he would have gotten into a fight with that Eagles fan. Let's put up the video again. Here's a thing that's very underrated. Everybody wants to talk tough on Twitter about, oh man, that never would have happened with me. It would have been a fight. Well, one, if you look at it, hold on. As you can see, the Packers fans are below the Eagles fan. So if you are getting into a fight right now, the Eagles fan has the clear advantage. One, the Eagles fan is with his fellow fans. So I'm pretty sure the Eagles fans would have jumped the Packers fan. Two, you're at a disadvantage because you are fighting upwards. Let me tell you, when you're fighting upwards, you're at a disadvantage. The Eagles fan, all you got to do is punch down. So fighting in that moment probably isn't the best idea, because you're either going to get jumped or you just had a clear disadvantage with the angle of where you're sitting down at. But everybody always wants to talk tough on Twitter about, oh man, it would have been a fight. I would have knocked his ass out. You're at a disadvantage already. And you're outnumbered. But again, I'm going to be fair. And I'm not trying to sound tough, bravado myself. I am 160 pounds soaking wet. I'm not a fighter. I try not to cause any fights. I'm not winning many fights. Well, maybe I could win many fights, because I'm damn sure going to cheat. Like, shit, if I'm 160 pounds fighting, I'm going to find whatever foreign object I can. This is a fight. This ain't a ballet dance. I'm taking you down some way, somehow. But my bravado probably could get the best of me if I ever had somebody step into my wife like that. And, again, your logic goes out the window. Your male pride takes over. But I'm not going to knock the Packers fan like some of the fans are doing on Twitter because he didn't instigate a fight or anything. Maybe I would have switched seats and be like, hey, all right, talk shit to me. Like, if you're going to talk shit, we're going to do it man to man. But you ain't going to talk to my wife like that. I'm trying to put her as far away from the situation as possible. But everybody always has their what I would have did in that scenario until they're actually in that scenario. I'm not mad at the Packers fan for not fighting. Again, he would have been at a disadvantage. He probably would have got jumped because the Eagles fans' friends would have probably been like, "Oh, we ain't gonna let you fight our friend. We're gonna get some licks in as well." I damn near applaud him, to be honest. Like, he said, you know what? People saying, "Oh, you a punk for not handling it right to them there and going to the internet and crying about it." Well, let's see. He went to the internet and he cried about it. But now that Eagles fan doesn't have a job anymore. Now that Eagles fan is banned from going to Eagles games for the rest of his life. So who won? Really, who won? I mean, yeah, it probably would have felt real good for that Packers fan to get a nice little punch on that guy's chin. He damn sure deserved it. But who really won? So the sacrifice of, oh, I got some strangers calling me a punk because I didn't fight in my wife's honor, is that I got the last laugh still because I didn't go to jail. I ain't got to worry about any bail money. I ain't get handcuffed by the cops. I didn't get jumped. I kept my dignity. I kept my job. The Eagles fan has no job now. I still got my job. Shit, if you want to get it from a content creation standpoint, because everybody's saying, oh, he's just a wannabe influencer, he knew what he was doing. Well, shit, I think he's got like 5,000 new followers since then. So shit, he took the win. He took the win. Let me get 5,000 new followers. I'll be excited as hell. Shit. I don't know. I don't think it was intentional. I do think, yeah, maybe you should know better, but at the same time, like, we shouldn't just because we know something is wrong, accept it. Like, tell the Eagles fans to do better. And I would say again, like, most Eagles fans probably are cool. It takes one fan out of 75,000 to disgrace a whole fan base, right? Like, trust me, there's asshole Saints fans. I've seen asshole Saints fans treat opposing fans with disrespect during my 25 plus year tenure as a season ticket holder. I've seen it with my own eyes. Every fan base has the drunk idiot assholes who don't know how to separate rivalry from reality. I get it. But I'm not going to harp on this Packers fan for not fighting or for going to the internet about it. He got a win to me. Good for that Packers fan. And I wish him the best in his content creation career. He knows a little bit better now, I guess, to not maybe bring his wife, or maybe, you come with more people. Like, if I ever go to Philadelphia, I'll probably go deep. Like, I'll probably go like I did in Dallas with a contingent of family members with me, because people have a lot more bravado and a lot more willing to talk shit to you when they know it's just you and your wife than when they know that you got 4 or 5 people with you. So if I go to Philly, it'll probably be me, Jono Barnes, going deep. But we'll see. I think I'm gonna go to Philadelphia one day. Not anytime soon or anything, but I'm not afraid to go to Philly. I'm not going to let asshole idiot fans ruin my life experiences. I shouldn't have to sacrifice how I want to navigate life because some idiot fan wants to get all bothered about a goddamn football game. I understand that this shit more than a game, but I guess this shit was more than a job too. All right, let me get to some of these comments. Again, y'all, I am sorry. I wish we had I wish I had Ziggy on the show, to be honest, because Ziggy is always great with keeping up with the comments for me while I ramble. Just to see what you guys say. Mott says Falcons fans are forwards. I'm a fair man. I've been to Atlanta twice. The fans have always been awesome. Again, I always appreciate fans who can separate rivalry from reality. I have fun during games too away. I talk shit, not like crazy. I don't go personal or anything, but I'm like, what y'all got to say now? Whatever. I can separate rivalry from reality. I can have fun with the on-the-field product and dap off a fan after the game and say, hey, man, all love, just having fun with the moment, et cetera, et cetera. I have not encountered one bad Falcons fan. I've seen Falcons fans fight Saints fans literally in person. I don't know how all those type of things escalate, but to the Falcons fans I've encountered, they've all been cool. So I want to be a fair man. Sandra says getting jumped is something serious. Exactly. And again, maybe the guy walks away with his pride. He did have a fight with that Eagles fan, but I guarantee he would have got jumped because the Eagles fans would be like, oh, wait, hold on. All they're going to see is green and yellow fighting green and silver. Who do you think they're going to stick up for without knowing the context? Especially if some of them were the Eagles fans' friends with him. He would have got jumped. And he would have been at a bad disadvantage. He's on a bad angle. He's fighting upwards. The Eagles fan is just punching down. So imagine that, like, okay, you got a punch or two in on the fan, but now your wife sees you with a bloody nose or maybe even possibly knocked out. Again, male pride and bravado takes over a lot of situations. I am a victim of that. I've had some bad road rage incidents where my pride takes over my logic. So I understand people who do or would probably fight in that scenario. But I try to tell myself, at least going into any type of hostile situations, one, I just say, Jono, do not fight over a goddamn sports game because ain't none of these players going to be paying your bills to get out of jail. Ain't none of these players paying your medical bills if you get dinged up in a fight. So uh, Giovanni says he's going out on his shield on that one. I understand again. Like when you see your wife get disrespected, I understand again. Bravado takes over. My dog says, gotta defend the wife is clobbering time. Now, you could be a little bit logical too as well and be like, hey, I'm not gonna fight you for my seat because I'm at a disadvantage. You're up, I'm a below. But you can meet me in that goddamn terrace level and we can settle this like men. I understand that, and I would not be mad at that either. How he did do that, I would not be mad at that. Again, now you gotta be at risk of going to jail or whatever. But hey, again, sometimes hitting a goddamn asshole in his face is worth all the bail bond money in the world. So I understand it. I'm not knocking anybody who does say, hey, you got to fight in that situation. Brute Saint says it might be more than a game, but not to the point of harassing others. At that point, it is just a freaking game. Like I mentioned earlier, and Ziggy is right. Now my situation was a lot different. It was just an old Karen lady who was mad that she thought I was talking shit in my vlog about the Vikings when I clearly wasn't. I was talking more shit about the Saints than the Vikings, but she thought I was talking about the Vikings, so she had to interject herself. But that was never a scenario where I was going to get into a fight with a 50-year-old lady. It was just okay, I'm going to tell you to F you. Unfortunately, my wife didn't get that on camera, but again, sometimes like you just click out when you're faced with a tense situation. Uh, Let me make sure I'm trying to catch up to all your comments. I appreciate y'all. I really do. Uh, J Rock says, why should we be surprised? After all, this is the same fan base that cheered when Michael Irvin got hurt nearly years ago. And my dog says they are the same fan base that booed Santa Claus. I know some Philly fans say that was taken out of context, but either way. Devin that dude says, I went to a game at the Superdome when Donovan McNabb and the Eagles came to town. Typical Eagles fans was out there acting ass. Now, hey, maybe they was on the daiquiri, so you got to show a little bit of grace with that. Saint G, who I have met at a Saints game before, real kind guy, real kind guy. He says, we all expect some grief and some ribbon when we go into imposing stadiums, but some people go way overboard. Exactly. I'm one of those people going to away games. I rib, I talk a little trash, but I never do it at a point where I'm trying to instigate a fight or where I'm like, this is life or death, motherfucker. Yeah, I'm about my Saints. Put your hands up. Nah, come on, nah. It's a sports game, y'all. This ain't life or death. This ain't life or death. Brute said he would ignore it. Brute, I respect that. It's kind of hard to ignore somebody calling your wife the C word, but I do respect it. Again, sometimes you got to let logic come out, even if you're going to get clowned by strangers on the internet that said, you got to fight. You got to fight. Like Giovanni said, hell no, we got to throw hands, which is fine. I would have been much more satisfied watching that Eagles fan get his ass knocked out in that video than I am watching him lose his job and whatever. But I know long term, him losing his job and his credibility and his character, that's way more long lasting than had he just got punched on the internet video. Ziggy says the worst UFC fighters is everyone always fighting in the crowd. I saw a funny tweet, Ziggy, where somebody said they should do a brand new show where UFC fighters go incognito to opposing stadiums wearing the opposing team gear and see what happens if a fan wants to talk tough. That would be a great TV show. I wouldn't mind watching that. Pro P says, I think Pro P is from in New Orleans, but from Atlanta or something like that. I forget. Ribbon is a New Orleans thing. No one says it anymore. Nostalgia. He's goddamn right, bro. That's why New Orleans is more than the city. So again, I understand it. My guy Ryan watching on Facebook, appreciate you, Ryan, says it ain't that serious for people to be doing the most for no reason. Ryan has actually gone to an away game to Atlanta with me in the past. So Ryan knows how much we act the fool, especially in Atlanta, but we do it with fun. We do it with, hey, man, on the field, we're rivals. We're going to have fun with this rivalry. Off the field, we can dap up. I mean, shit, we all probably got the same type of ideologies. New Orleans and Atlanta has the same type of population, basically. Like, what are we doing? Like, we don't got to throw hands over this. Let's just have fun with it. Talk shit. It's football. This shit more than the game, but this shit more than life, too. So, yeah. So, I definitely get the arguments about wanting to fight, but I'm a little. I think these tweets calling out the guy for doing a GoFundMe and getting mad that he's a content creator. Maybe it's because I'm a content creator myself. I think that's going a little overboard. And I don't think that, I guess there's not a right or wrong way in this scenario. Like, he didn't fight. Okay, good for him. He got this guy identified. He got this guy fired from his job. And he got this guy banned from Eagles games for the rest of his life. So Packers might have lost on the field, but he ain't lose off. Might have lost on the field, but he ain't lose on the field.